If you've ever gotten totally frustrated trying to make two patch pockets the exact same size, I have the answer for you, and it's all in a cardboard template. Let me show you how. So as I said, the secret is all in a cardboard template. So you're simply going to take your pattern piece for that patch pocket, lay it down on a piece of cardboard, and this is just cardboard from the back of a tablet of paper, and then with a ballpoint pen, just go along the seam line. You may have to draw that in, but just go along the seam line, kind of transferring that, embedding that line onto your cardboard, and then cut it out, and you have your template. You'll take that template and set it down on your fabric and trace around it, giving yourself a stitching line. The other hint that I can give you is to use a smaller stitch length than normal, so that when going around these curves, stitching slowly, a smaller stitch will give you a smoother curve. So that's the first hint. However, my mind goes a little bit further into those years when I was making my dear little boy cute little jackets. And as all little boys, he would just want to ram his hands down inside those pockets. Sometimes I wanted to create a pocket that I didn't top stitch on. Back then I wasn't the very best sewer in the world, and I just couldn't really stitch straight around that patch pocket. So I found a way, I don't remember where it was, this is not an original technique, but it was how you sew on a patch pocket that's securely sewn on without any top stitching. So here's how we did that. So it's the same principle. You cut a big lining piece and you cut your pocket piece, and you want to have, see, here's the finished size of that pocket. So you have a facing on the pocket. So I have joined the lining to the facing of the pocket, all right? And then I have set it down on the fabric, and in this case I made sure everything was going to match. You with me? It's making sense, Melanie? Yes. My camera lady is a brand new sewer. All right. So then the beauty of the template in this case is that then I use it as a pressing template. Let's just pretend these 3 fingers of mine is the steam iron. So do you see how it's going around this edge, steaming that in? And again, the template becomes my stitching line. So I just flipped it over. I've got the top of the pocket in the same place, which I had clearly marked here with my chalkener. So I've got this lined up, and then I just traced around it with my chalkener. Then remove the template and start to stitch. Now I stitched with a fairly short stitch length, and I started right out here at the very point and then came inwards a little bit from this line that I just traced. So I'm stitching about 1/8 of an inch inside that line. Then I can trim away all of this excess. You're just trimming it away. So you see I had started with just a big square of lining. So I'll finish trimming this away. Then I would run back to the ironing board and take and press this seam allowance inwards. Then the pocket flips down into place with this edge all pressed under, and then I could elect to top stitch it, but if I didn't want to top stitch it, I could hand stitch this down, and it would be a lovely pocket that in this case is perfectly matched. Can you see how I had matched that up and down and across? And he could just ram his little head down inside there, and it held up to it because the lining of the pocket was actually stitched on. So there's 2 hints there: stitching the lining on by machine, hand stitching the top layer, and the use of a cardboard template. So as you get into tailoring, or whenever you want to create 2 pieces that are the exact same size, grab some cardboard and make yourself a template of the finished size of that pocket.